Okay. I would really love to see our city become a city that really functions well and works together with all the groups that are involved. What I see now are a lot of different groups working in their own area but not working together. And I think there's a real power in unity. And when we all come together, and we were just on a Healthy Hot Springs board this week trying to work together to bring in some issues that have not been dealt with, like finishing our sidewalks and making healthy food available in the schools and different things like that, and cooking lessons for poor families that maybe need nutrition. And as we were talking, we found out, oh my goodness, that's being provided by the extension service. And so there are a lot of things that are there that we are not aware of. So if we bring in a lot of different groups together and find out what actually is being provided and what can be provided, and as we work together, we're going to see a healthy, functioning city that starts to bloom and develop and become a really great city. There are so many things that need to be done in Hot Springs, and instead of working independently with a group over there and a group over there, if we could just create a teamwork. I've said many times this year that a team that fights its own members never wins. And we've got to get together and work together as a team. We will never win as a city if we're fighting each other. So we've got to get the builders, developers, the codes departments, the people with the plans, everybody working on the same team and working together with good attitudes. I think good attitudes really, if we go in together with a great attitude and we're working together and we're developing our city in a progressive way, it's going to work. But when we start biting each other and working against each other, nothing's going to happen. The same way with the city board. If we're fighting against each other as a city board and issues come up and we're not working together, we're not going to see progress. There are three things that I feel that we as a city have to provide for the citizens. Number one is protection. That's the public health, safety, and welfare. And I know that crime is an issue in our city. We can't deny it. It's not something that we can hide. We see it every time we read an article in the news. We see murders, we see crimes, we see robberies. And our jail situation should be helped with a new jail, but we have to have public health, safety, and welfare. And that's one thing that the city is responsible for providing. Number two is direction. We have to have a plan, and I think for a long time our city has not had a plan. We've just lived from day to day, and when the plumbing got messed up, we left it messed up. If the roof started to leak, we left it leaking, and we're suffering today from a lot of leaks and things that have not been fixed for years and years and years. So we're going to have to clean up. We're going to have to say we've got a direction, we're going to go this way, we're going to start repairing and fixing, and this is where we want to be in the future, and we're going to have to work toward a goal. We've got to set goals, so we've got to have a real true direction. Where do we want to be in 10 years, 15, 20 years? So we have to set direction and make it clear what that direction is. And then number one is protection, two, direction, and then provision. We have to provide for our people. Again, for a long time we have not planned ahead to provide let's just say water supply. And now we're providing for water supply. We're out there. We've had other surrounding cities that have been providing for water from the water that's around us. I think Benton Bryant has already bought up water that's in Lake DeGray, and they don't even need it, but they bought it ahead of time. We didn't do that. We've got to decide what our grandchildren and our great-grandchildren are going to need, and we have to provide for that now. We have to look at the long range. It's like life insurance. You don't need it until you're dead and it's too late. And anyway, provide for your family. And so we have to kind of do life insurance for our city and for those who come after us. And we provide for those needs that they're going to have in the future. And just protection, direction, and provision. And not just water, but there are other things that we're going to have need of that we need to provide for our city, the services of our city, the infrastructure of our city, new pipes, new drains. I never noticed the infrastructure until I became mayor, and now I cannot drive down the street without looking at the sewers and the drains and the malfunction of everything, and I'll call the office and tell Margaret, there's water leaking over here on the curb on Grand and Central. Can you have somebody check this out? So, and then she said, well, just stop looking at all that. And I said, well, but if I look higher up, I see those abandoned buildings that have nobody in them and boarded up windows, and I don't know where to look. And so I'm just always trying to see what needs to be done. When you ask me why I am the mayor, it's because I'm a fixer. I see things that need to be fixed, and I want them fixed, and I want people to be able to live together and function well in our community, and I want to see our community thriving, healthy, and I want the people who live there to be able to function and live well. And the other thing that I really want to have happen is that we're a healthy community, not just in the physical health, but the mental, emotional, and spiritual health of our community. So I work with groups like Garland County Cares for prevention and resources to keep kids from being addicted, and I work with Celebrate Recovery for people who are coming out of addiction. So there are a lot of things that need to be done in our community. We have established a human trafficking task force in our community, and we're working with that issue, and people are kind of shocked when they find out that Hot Springs has human trafficking, and yes, we do, and we're trying to work with that. Sometimes we don't know things are happening, so it doesn't bother us, but once we find out that there's an issue, if we don't do something about it, then it keeps growing, and it's too late. So I want us to be a city that's on the issues, we understand what the issues are, and we're actively doing something about them.